Back to the phone lines. We'll talk to David in Spokane, Washington. Hi, David.
Hi, Hank. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great, thank you.
I've got a question for you, and I guess I got to formulate it a couple of ways. I listened to Chuck Missler. I think he's an awesome teacher. And he said that in Revelation, the church is no longer there after chapter 4.
After chapter 4, yeah.
Okay, so Revelation 12 supposedly was the signs in the sky on September 23rd. Whether it was or not, I mean, it seems like it was. But are the events in chronological order as John wrote them? It seems that they would be, but that wouldn't make sense that we're already in Revelation 12 if the church is not supposed to be here in Revelation 4. Does that make sense the way I'm asking this?
Well, it makes sense the way you're asking it, but does not make sense as Chuck Missler or others are teaching it. I mean, it's simply false to suppose that this is the way we read the book of Revelation. It's complete nonsense. First of all, you have a recapitulation. It's very interesting that if you look at the recapitulation, you have chapters 1 through 11 being virtually recapitulated in chapters 12 through 22. And the first part of Revelation, the emphasis is the victory of Christ over the beast and the woman who rides the beast. The second part, interestingly enough, is the victory of the bride of Christ, i.e. the church, over the beast and the woman who rides the beast. And what you see in the book of Revelation is a lot of the major themes and symbols are repeated or refashioned from part 1 to part 2. So in part 1, in chapter 9, I believe you have the angel of the abyss. The enormous red dragon is the counterpart in chapter 12, where the 7 trumpets in 8 through 11, 7 plagues in 15 through 16. Sodom and Egypt, where the Lord was crucified in 11. Babylon later on in the book of Revelation in the recapitulation. The woman represents true Israel. In the passage that you're talking about, like her husband, she is clothed with the sun. She has a crown of 12 stars. And as such is a composite picture of the people of God through whom Messiah was birthed. So the notion that is being communicated or read into Revelation chapter 12 with this numerology that is going on is bad enough. But the worst thing is a failure to recognize that Revelation is not written to us, it is written for us. Revelation could not be more plain. It's a revelation of Jesus Christ, which God gave him to show his servants what must soon take place. And what's interesting about that is John then goes on to point out that this revelation of Jesus Christ is a revelation given to 7 churches in the epicenter of a Caesar cult. There are 7 churches in a first century epic. And the tragedy is people are taking that message, and they're somehow or other making the Church of Philadelphia a church that is in another epoch of time, or the Church of Laodicea being the church of the 21st century. All of this is misguided because Revelation, again, is written to people in a first century epoch, and it crescendos like other books of the Bible with the eternal perspective. In other words, the New Jerusalem, as in Revelation 21, coming down out of heaven, prepared as a bride, beautifully adorned for her husband, and a loud voice from the throne saying, "Now the dwelling of God is with men, and he will live with them. There'll be no more death, mourning, crying, or pain. The older things will have passed away." So you have the same crescendo to the eternal perspective from the city of man to the city of God that you find in the book of Romans or 1 Corinthians, 2 Corinthians, Galatians, Ephesians, Philippians, whatever. So again, this is a very bad way of reading Scripture, and certainly Chuck Missler was a very interesting speaker, and he certainly kept people on the edge of their seat, but oftentimes he did it with a very bad hermeneutic, which is to say a very bad position with respect to the art and science of biblical interpretation.